What's up, everybody? It's Simon from Like. Today, we're going to be talking about how to replace any light on any trailer. It's really simple. The parts are cheap. The tools you probably already have. Let's get to work. Before we do anything, we're going to disconnect the battery. Now, I have this handy dandy little fuse right here. So I'm just going to pull my fuse. That breaks the circuit because we will be tying wires. And you don't want to get zapped. Okay, you can see here my beautiful duct tape rig to keep the weather out of this thing while we are on the road because I broke my lens. So now I need to replace my light fixture. So the bulb was broken and everything. This is an incandescent bulb and I'm replacing it with modern LED light. As you can see, these things are really simple. If the lens was still on here, you pop the lens off, you can just get a screwdriver under there, or sometimes you just squeeze right here on either side and pop that lens off. They come off really easily. Then it's 2 screws and some sealant. Before we get started, let's talk about the tools. So, screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips. Don't need flathead because my lens is already gone. I will need a Phillips to get these screws out right here and put the new ones in. Wire strippers. Probably need these, may or may not actually need them, we'll see. Electrical tape and the sealant. In this case, I'm using butyl tape. Butyl tape is the kind of putty, it feels like plumber's putty is what it really feels like. And so this is the putty that we're going to put around the outside. It's the old putty that we're going to scrape off. And it's really easy to use, just kind of sticky and messy a little bit. But it's pretty straightforward how you use it, and in my opinion, it's easier than caulking anyway. So even if you're going to caulk the outside, you still want to put a bead of butyl tape to press up against the body of your camper or your trailer. And finally, you need something to scrape the old tape off with. I like just a good old putty knife. You can use a blade, whatever you have handy. So let's get started by unscrewing the screws on the old fixture. You can see they're short wood screws, probably because it's going straight into plywood. So let's get started scraping the old tape off. I'm going to try to get away with not having to use a blade to score it with, but I have it just in case. I'm going to see if I can break into it with just this putty knife. Now, I like using the older putty knife that's well worn on the corners because it doesn't have that corner and it won't scrape or gouge the aluminum body of the camper. So I'm just going to start on the bottom just because of leverage. Let's see if we can get it going. I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. Feels like we can get it going. So I don't think we need a squirt in this case. It's really just going to be old and crusty on the outside and it'll still be probably pretty gooey on the inside. So I got it around that side. I'm going to work it around the bottom. And you don't want to go all the way through because there's going to be wires back behind here. And there's going to be a socket right here too, where the old bulb was. That is with incandescent bulbs rather than LEDs. Keep going around the corners. Once I get all the corners free, that's pretty much it. We can start working the thing out. Since it's not screwed in anymore, then it ought to just pull out. Now you don't want to pull it out hard because we have to detach the wires. You want to just pull it out and let it dangle. I'm going to get under this tape here, try to get as much off the body as we can, because the less old stuff we have on there, the better the new stuff will adhere to the body of the camper or the trailer. I mean, this can work for utility trailers, boat trailers, whatever kind of trailer you have. All the lights are the same. Tail lights, running lights, they're just bigger fixtures. But they all go in and out the same and hook up the same. Might be more wires, but they're all pretty much the same. All right, now I think we can work this thing off. Might need to get a screwdriver in here. So there's kind of a foam back to it, it looks like. This is a factory light, but they're all pretty similar. You can get these things online. I'll put a link down below for some of the best, easiest places to get them inexpensively. But retail stores, sometimes, even Walmart, Northern Tool, places like that will have trailer lights. See if I can get a little bit of leverage back here. Yeah, looks like there's some foam, adhesive foam backing to this one. And I'm gonna break this because I don't care, I'm not saving it. There we go. So you can see that there's this kind of adhesive layered backing to it. So there wasn't actually any butyl tape. That's why I'm kind of fighting it a little bit, which is fine. Now I know what I'm up against. So I can go all the way to the socket, all the way around, and it should pull out. If it was tape, if it was butyl tape, then usually once you kind of break that outer crust, then it gets really easy really fast. There we go. Well, that didn't help me because I need to pull that socket out still. So this one's going to be a little bit of a bear to pull out because all the putty is kind of jammed in there. And so it's really, really sticky and it's a fragile little socket. So we'll see what we can do. So that was more work than you usually have to do just to get this piece out. Usually this comes out with this, and then you'd end up with everything dangling like this so that you can rewire the new ones. So I grabbed some dikes. I could just use my blade to cut these wires off, but I want to make sure that when you do snip them, that they're not going to pull back into the hole. That'd be a chore. That'd be a really unnecessary chore. So here's our new fixture. The lens is already half off. This is not an LED. This is incandescent. I thought I bought an LED bulb. Gives you the option to go through right here, but because of where I'm going back into the camper, in my case, I'm just gonna make it work and go right through here, through the middle. All right, so this is interesting. This is not what I expected. But on this light, you can see I took the plate and the bulb out. There's only one connection for a wire. And that is because the other one grounds to this plate. This plate is where you put the screw through. I think that they're assuming that the screw will go into metal and ground it like, say, a utility trailer or maybe even a boat trailer. But in this case, this is not a ground on my camper. So what I'm gonna have to do is take one of the wires, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it underneath this plate. So that'll complete the circuit. The plate touches this brass connector right here, and then that will complete the circuit through the light bulb. We'll do that. So we'll start here by snipping the wires as close as I can to the old fixture. We're going to do some wire stripping. That one almost went in. That kind of scared me a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a clamp. I'm going to strip the wire on the new one and the old ones just enough to twist together. All right. A little awkward with that clamp there, but we got her done. I think what I'm going to do first is run these through here, put the tape on, and then stick it. And then we can work with everything on this side of the fixture. Alrighty. Now we'll take our tape. Now it comes off the paper really clean, but it gets messy really fast if you start messing with it. So you want to get it from the paper onto your back here as clean and quick as possible. Before I do that, I'm just going to scrape the remaining bits. Just make sure we get a really good seal here. All right, happy with that. So I found that it's better than trying to do one piece all the way around to just cut each length. And you can kind of be approximate here. So we'll do 2 of those. Just like that. Stick those on, and then probably do 2 short little pieces here for the middle. It's just paper backing, so you can just get started with the knife and rip the rest. We'll see where that takes us. Alrighty. So peel it off. It's a cold day today. That helps too. If it's hot, the stuff gets really stretchy and stringy. I'll tear off a corner just so you can kind of see. Yeah, it's cold enough today to really be easy to work with, because otherwise it'll string like silly putty. All right, I'm gonna put this, just kind of stick it to the body of the camper with my finger. Same thing on the bottom. I may only need just a little tiny bit in the middle. See if we can split this in half. Make sure you get around that screw hole. You want the screw to go through the tape. There we go. Happy with that. Let's see how that's going to sit on here. I may just run the screws in right now. I'm just going to reuse these screws, run them back in there. Nice and tight, secure. Now we're going to plug all these gaps around the outside, just some balled up beetle tape. Time to wire it up. Everyone's probably got their own way of hooking up wires, but with these kind of low voltage, lighter gauge wires, what I like to do is tape them together, or take a little zip tie or something like that, tape them together facing the same direction, and tie it off real secure so that they don't pull apart at all, and then tape up around the outside. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to twist the wires together. I'll run another piece of tape from below that to all the way to the end. Excuse the road noise. We are in my garage. Kind of fold it over the end. Make sure the weather can't get in. Make sure no wires are going to be bare, unable to touch anything else. Short you out and blow a fuse. Now again, I would just, if there was another connection here, I would just wire it up here. In this case, I'm going to make a ground. There we go. Screw back in. I'm good with that. This just presses back on. We're good to go. If we ever need to pop this back off again, there's a little slot on the side. Flathead screwdriver, turn it sideways, pops it loose. That's it, folks. Any trailer light that you want to do, camper, boat trailer, utility trailer, whatever you have. It's really not that hard. A few simple tools and the right sealant will get the job done. I'll put a list of gear below so you can just click and buy at the best price that we can find. I'm Simon from Lake Hub, and we'll see you next time.